Hi everybody, I'm Sonia Schofield and today I'm going to show you how I get a perfect winged liner. I think a lot of people are scared to do winged eyeliner because they think it's really difficult, and to be honest it probably is one of the most time consuming and more difficult makeup tricks to do, especially if you have got a hooded eye. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today, how you're going to work with a hooded eye to get that perfect winged liner. Right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little guide for us, just with a little bit of eyeshadow so I can see where we're going to go with the eyeliner. If you go straight in with eyeliner, you can quite often make a mistake, but if we go with a bit of eyeshadow first, that's going to give you a really good guideline where to actually put your eyeliner. So I'm going to use one of these Arbonne eyeshadows. This one's called Clove, and it's not really dark, it's just sort of a browny colour, so that I can just get a little line. So I'm going to go right in the outer corner of my eye, and I'm going to do a little line that goes up towards the end of my eyebrow. So a little tick. I'm just going to lean in so you can see that. You may not be able to see, it's quite faint. So the best thing to do is make sure you've done your eyebrows first so you can see where you're doing. So you've got a guideline so you can see where you're putting this line. So you kind of have to imagine that you've got a line that goes from the outer corner up to there. And you're just doing a little line following along that line. Okay, so we've got that. I'm just going to do the other side. So the most important thing you need to do here is you need to be looking straight forward when you do it, and you've got your eyes fully open. If you do it with your eyes looking down or closed if you're doing them on someone else, what's going to happen is you're going to think you've got this really lovely, smooth, straight line and got the wing perfect, and when they open the eyes, the line's just going to go all wonky. If somebody's got a hooded eye or, just different type of eyelids, just when you open the eye, the line can completely go in the wrong direction. So at least if you do it with your eye open, how you would normally be, looking straight forward, you know you're going to get it in the right place. Okay, so I've got my little guidelines. So I've got my little ticks. Now I'm just going to, before I start putting any eyeliner on above the eye or into that tick, I'm going to tight line, which means lining in the upper lash line, in the waterline. So I'm using the Maybelline black gel ink, and the brush I've been using is actually a Maybelline one as well, and it comes with it, and it's a brilliant brush. I use it on most people actually. It's just really thin, really precise. So I'm just going to kind of look down a bit, do the funny face where you open your eyes wide, and I'm just putting that line right underneath the bottom of the lashes. That's going to help to really define the eye. Another thing is, because my eyes have gone slightly hooded, I'm not going to do much of a line across the top. Another thing that I've realised recently is this eyelid seems to be bigger than this one. This one seems to be droopier. So I was putting eyeliner on and then thinking, well, why is one side thicker than the other? And it wasn't what I'd done. It's because this eyelid is a bigger space than this one, and that's a new thing to have happened. So that's why I definitely want to make sure I've got the liner underneath, because I'm not going to put too much on top, because that's going to close the eye off. Okay, so I've got all my liner underneath now in my waterline. I'm just going to take some more on my brush, but I'm going to wipe any excess off on the back of my hand, just because it's easier to work with, and you can always take little amounts and add more rather than starting with too much and then having to take it away. So we've got the line already where we've done with the eyeshadow. So I'm going to start in the outer corner, and I'm just going to follow that guide we've done with the eyeshadow. And you'll notice I didn't do one line quickly like that. I did tiny little brush strokes working towards the end of that line. Now I've got a crease here and I'm going over that. That's why we want to do that with the eye open, because if that was shut you wouldn't know that crease was there, and that's when you end up with a tick going up there and then down there. It doesn't matter if you do it too long because you can always clear it up afterwards. Okay? So I've got my tick, let me just show you. Then I'm going to go on the outer corner along the top of the lashes. To about there, so not quite 3/4 of the way along. So now you can see I've got a line that goes up like that and a line that's going up like that, and we're going to draw another little straight line, like a little triangle shape, I suppose. I've run out of ink on my brush, so I'm just putting a little bit more on. Right, can you see? I've now got a little triangle shape. So you can see skin there, so you just take your brush and fill that in. Okay, so that's given you a really nice wing shape there. And then you need to go on a little bit further, but in my case, like I said before, I want to make sure that I'm not closing the eye up too much. So I'm just doing a really thin line. I'm just taking a little bit more gel liner. So keeping your eye open the whole time. You can do the thing where you lift your eyebrows a bit because it makes it easier to get right into those roots. And this is what I'm trying to achieve now, is I don't want to see any skin between the liner and the actual eye. So we're painting in very carefully where we can see any skin in between the roots of those lashes. And it's really important, if you've got light lashes or blonder lashes like I have, you just need to make sure that you're getting right in the roots there. This is what's going to make your line really nice and neat. When you get towards the inner corner, you can literally just paint in the inner waterline rather than trying to do a line across the top of it, because it's quite a small area there. Right, so I've got my line all the way across, and I'm just going to go back in more with more gel and just really make sure that I've covered every tiny little bit of skin. So at this point, I'm just poking it in between the roots now, wherever I see any skin. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry a little bit, and then when I've done that, I'm going to show you how I use a little bit of eyeshadow just to soften the line a bit and just help neaten it up. So I'll just do the other eye for you now. Right, so I've done both sides now. I'll just give you a little close-up look so you can see how that looks so far. It's looking quite smooth, but if you have made any mistakes, a really good thing to do is take a dark eyeshadow. I'm going to use this one from the Arbonne palette called Cypress. And so basically you need either a dark grey, a black, a navy, anything as dark as the liner that you've used, just to go over the top So I'm just going to use that same brush. I just cleaned it with alcohol, just so it's a nice fresh brush again. And I'm just going to go very gently over the top of that line to soften it a bit. You could skip this if you wanted a really sort of definite line, but I think it looks a bit more flattering on me personally if I soften it a little bit. And I think this colour I'm using, which is a nice warm dark brown colour, it just it's a bit of a softer colour on me rather than black. Black's quite harsh on a lot of people. So I'm just going to take it onto the wing a little bit as well. And then you can go towards the end of that wing when you've got a tiny amount of eyeshadow on and just lift it that little bit further. And then it makes the wing even sharper if that's what you wanted to do. It just gives that look of it really fading out. So I'm just going to do the other side. Okay, so after you've done both sides, I would just take a fluffy brush. I'm just using this one from Studio 10, and I'm just going to fluff over the top of that eyeshadow just to really soften and blend it in, just to make sure there's no lines in between that and the rest of the eyelid. Okay, now that's actually gone quite well today. Sometimes it goes a lot better than others. So if you do make mistakes, I've discovered these are really good from my Kitco. They're really good, like cotton buds, but look how skinny they are, really, really thin. So if you did make a mistake, you could just dab it in a bit of eye makeup remover or eye cream and just clear up if you wanted a really, really straight line. That would help you get that really definite line underneath. Or you could, if you've got a bit of concealer left on your concealer brush, I'm going to do that now actually. I'm just going to put a bit more concealer on this brush. You can just go underneath it and really clear it up if there's any wonky bits. I think putting that tiny little bit of concealer underneath it actually helps kind of just make the line look really crisp and stand out even more actually. So yes, I like that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to curl my eyelashes and put some mascara on. Now, I discovered the other day that putting the hairdryer on your eyelash curlers to make your eyelashes even curlier really, really works. I've heard about it so many times, but I never tried it. And it also helps the curl stay in longer, so I tried it and it's actually very useful. And it worked really well, so in another video I'll show you how I did that. It's actually really not very difficult, but for some reason I just thought that's not going to do anything, but it did. So this is the Studio 10 mascara. Right, I've made a mistake. Need one of them cotton buds. Right, always have them on hand. Sorted that out. So yeah, the Studio 10 mascara, I'm just going to go onto the other side because they've got a really handy little finer brush the other side to do bottom lashes. Yeah, and just putting a small amount underneath. I just want to kind of create quite a clean looking eye and not too much heavy liner underneath. You can take a cotton bud to clear any liner that's gone down onto the bottom line. One moment. So yeah, just use a regular cotton bud at the ends just to clear up in the waterline or any of the eyeliner's gone into the inner corner just while you're waiting for that to set. I'm going to colour the other side now. Okay, so that's mascara on both of the eyes. Now, I told you at the beginning of the video that I was going to show you my new discovery, which I found helps to keep my eyeliner on so well, and it is the Sealing Gel by Illamasqua. It comes in a tiny little bottle, but it actually goes a really, really long way. So when you get it, there, tiny little bottle. And it's got a little dropper, so I'm just going to use that same eyeliner brush that I've used for putting the eyeshadow tick and for doing the eyeliner. I'm going to drop a tiny amount on, and you'd think it's going to be really, really wet, but it's slightly gloopy, so it goes on the brush really easily without, you know, drops falling down. So that was just a tiny little drop, and I'm going to go over my liner with it. And it completely seals your eyeliner, so you don't get that, you know, liner rubbing off onto the top of the eyelid, which you can sometimes get, especially if you've got a hooded eye. But I find that it just really helps it stay put. That's it. And I like to put a little bit of it on my bottom lashes as well, just with what's left on the brush. And I just find it helps keep that mascara on really well, and it doesn't sit on the concealer underneath. So definitely try that. I was doing a TV programme last September, and some of the makeup artists were using it then, and I'd never heard of it. So I definitely thought that's a really good thing to buy, and it has been absolutely brilliant, so I'm glad that I found out about that. So that's my winged eyeliner done. I hope you like it. Let me know how you get on, if anybody tries it out. It's not as difficult as it looks. It's a little bit time consuming, so don't do it when you're in a rush, and yeah, maybe have a good practice before you do it for an event you actually need it for. And so yeah, just subscribe to my channel if you like what you saw. I'm going to be trying to upload more videos each week. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you would like me to show you how to do, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!